Like the Poinsett Bridge, there is another bridge a little over 9 miles away that is definitely worth a visit. In addition, like the Poinsett, it also offers rocks for sliding and a shallow pool for splashing. As far as history goes, while the Poinsett is the oldest remaining bridge in South Carolina, the nearby Campbell's Bridge is the oldest remaining covered bridge in the state. While visiting Campbell's Bridge, the tranquil countryside and picturesque bridge will take you back in time to a time when people once came to the area to have their corn ground, to the summers of the past where people would come here to cool off on a hot summer day or walk hand in hand with their sweetheart. Campbell's Bridge was constructed between 1909 and 1911 by Charles Willis. Mr. Willis was a local traveler's rest man who, besides being a husband, father, and mason, was also an accomplished builder in the northern part of Greenville County. After settling on the bridge's design, Mr. Willis knew that this 35-foot long by 12-foot wide bridge would require long and large timbers. Unfortunately, at the time, those cuts of lumber far exceeded the capabilities of most sawmills. Luckily, Mr. Willis didn't have to search too far, as a nearby sawmill owned and operated by James Sudduth accepted the challenge. To span the Beaver Dam Creek, Mr. Willis allowed the trestle ends to follow the natural lay of the land and built the rest of the bridge to fit. This resulted in the bridge not being square or plumb. First, Mr. Willis placed the bridge on a rock foundation, on which concrete was poured to support the bridge's heart of pine and iron rod frame. After the construction of the two trestles, Mr. Willis had them tied into position before building the deck, sides, and adding the metal gable roof. By using this method of truss construction, weight is absorbed and transferred to the rock abutments on each end of the bridge. The sides of the bridge were made with pine boards with battens that covered the joints. In order to hide these battens and make the bridge more aesthetically pleasing, triangular covers and cedar shakes were added. Another critical but usually overlooked element of the bridge's design is the gap at the top between the sides and the roof, which allows for air circulation. After its construction, Campbell's covered bridge was a 4-span Howe truss bridge weighing around 100,000 pounds. Notably, Mr. Willis probably chose this type of trestle design as the combination of wood and vertical iron tension members offer strength, while being far more economical than the more common Pratt truss used by the railroad. During the bridge's construction, covered bridges were especially popular. The main reason being that the cover protected the bridge's deck from harsh weather elements, so in the long run, the bridge would require less maintenance. However, in the mountains, a covered bridge could add extra protection when crossing in the snow and ice, as well as providing shelter for travelers during harsh weather. Interestingly, the bridge was one of 4 covered bridges in this part of northern Greenville County in the first decade of the 20th century. That being said, Campbell's covered bridge was the largest and most sophisticated of the 4. Prior to the bridge, the only safe way of crossing over Beaver Dam Creek was a narrow rock shoal. Of course, I can't talk about Campbell's Bridge without talking about the man for whom the bridge is named. Alexander Lafayette Campbell was a local landowner and millwright who lived at the site and operated a corn grist mill about 50 to 100 feet downstream. Mr. Campbell was a Confederate veteran and respected citizen. In addition, during his life, after his first wife passed, he married a much younger widow who had already had several children from her first marriage. During Mr. Campbell's life, he fathered at least 15 children of his own. While I'm unsure if Mr. Campbell commissioned the bridge, it seems likely. And at the very least, he was happy with the new covered bridge. That would surely make it easier for farmers to bring their corn to his mill. More importantly, the construction of this bridge connected several rural communities and small towns in the immediate vicinity, so that a 25-mile trip, which once took a full day before the bridge, could now be completed in about an hour. As you might imagine, besides being a place to weather a sudden storm, there are many stories of family picnics, engagements, proposals, and friends at the Campbell's Covered Bridge. Notably, in 1933, one of the visitors to the bridge was 12-year-old Stella Atkins, who had went with the Campbell girls to water their mules. As Stella's mount bent down to drink, young Stella slid off the neck of her horse and into the mud. The Campbell girls then rushed to help wash Stella off so that she wouldn't get in trouble at home. While a funny story, Stella never forgot about the beautiful bridge where this embarrassing moment occurred. In 1964, the Crest Garden Club worked to repair the bridge and repainted it. During this time, local traffic continued to use the bridge, though most traffic was already being rerouted to Pleasant Hill Road instead. By 1976, the once young Stella Atkins felt so strongly about the bridge being preserved for the future that she bought the bridge, the old Smith home, the grist mill, and surrounding acreage. By 1984, as more roads began to be paved, Greenville County closed the bridge to all motorized vehicles. In 1991, Stella gave part of the property to her daughter, Sylvia Pittman, with instructions to save the bridge at all cost. Sylvia did as her mother asked by working with Greenville County and interested historic groups to keep the bridge in good shape and allowed many visitors. In addition, during her ownership, she slowly began acquiring acreage to the property. By 1990, the bridge needed renovations once more. Worn down and rotten boards were replaced with fresh-cut pine, and the old roof was replaced with a new galvanized steel roof. During this time, due to the bridge's weight, a 50-ton jack had to be used to lift the bridge from its foundation. In 1992, Sylvia's son, Travis, transformed the home and garden by adding stone masonry. Then, in 2005, Sylvia sold the house to Greenville County. By 2005, Sylvia sold the house to Greenville County, but unfortunately, by 2001, the house and all of its antiques perished in a fire. Even though the home was gone, the bridge continued to be a popular attraction. By 2008, Sylvia sold the bridge and acreage to Greenville County's Recreation District with instructions for it to be developed as an official public historic site and to be preserved for future generations. Today, the bridge and its surrounding 18.65-acre park is a serene location in northern Greenville County where visitors can picnic, explore the foundations of the old grist mill and home site. Still as picturesque as ever, its bold red painted wood will stand out in your memory for a long time to come.
With water in it. It comes out. That's crazy. Look at that. Can see the water.
2, 3, go! Yeah, you can go! Yay!
The sun. Where the sun is. And it is tree. A tree. The sun. Where's the sun? No. I got that big wolf for the grotto, but the grotto, big strong tractor.
Ooh!
Green. A roller.
A roller?
No, a roller.
A roller? Roller?
Look at that. It's doing it.